Good morning, all. Our today's topic is on regular expressions. Okay, and before going to discuss about regular expressions, there is a small cyclic diagram was there. Let me tell you what is that cyclic diagram is. Okay, now please try to understand that. So have we have something like this, one thing, then second, next third, and then fourth. Okay, and here please try to understand the first one. The first cycle represents the regular expression. The first cycle represents the regular expression. Then the second circle represents NFA with epsilon. NFA with epsilon. Okay. Then the third one represents NFA. The third one represents NFA. And the fourth one represents the DFA. This one was the DFA. Okay. Now let me tell you why I am drawing all these things in the sense. Please try to understand. So even though all these four are four different topics, but all these four are correlated with each other. But how they are correlated with each other in the sense, let's try to understand. For example, so far what we have seen is, please try to understand, so far whatever we have seen is, for example, let us assume that we have an NFA epsilon with us. Okay, please try to understand. If we have an NFA epsilon with us, now we can easily convert that NFA epsilon into NFA. Yes or no? Right? We have already seen the conversion of NFA epsilon to NFA. Okay, in the sense, so once we have a NFA epsilon automata with us, now we can convert that NFA epsilon automata into DFA. So not only that, if you have a NFA epsilon automata with you, now we can convert it into DFA also. Now we have discussed both the ways, right? So we have seen how to convert the given NFA epsilon into either NFA or into DFA. Okay, that's the first one. Suppose think that if you have a NFA with you, now we can easily convert that NFA into DFA also. We can convert the NFA into DFA. Okay, so far we have done with this. Okay, now what we need to show here is, now we need to show the relationship between the regular expression and the DFA and the regular expression and the NFA with the epsilon. So what is that relationship is? Please try to understand. So if you have the deterministic finite automata, or if you have any automata with you, now what you can do is you can easily construct the regular expression. Please try to understand. Okay, so please try to understand. If you are having a DFA with you, then that DFA can be converted into the regular expression. Okay, then if you have a regular expression with you, then we can easily convert the we can convert the given regular expression into equivalent NFA with the epsilon transitions. Okay, now out of these all topics, so what we have finished so far is, so we have completed this part, NFA epsilon to NFA conversion, NFA to DFA conversion, and then NFA epsilon to DFA conversion. So these three parts has been already finished in our first unit itself. Now the next thing which we need to cover is this part, the upper part. This is the part which we are going to cover in this second unit. Okay, means now we have been concentrating on the regular expressions, and then So how we are going to convert a given DFA into the regular expression, or once you have been given with the regular expression, so how do we find out the equivalent NFA with the epsilon? Okay, so it doesn't mean that if you have a regular expression, can't we construct the DFA? Yes, we can easily construct the DFA. How? If you have a regular expression with you, go for constructing the NFA epsilon, and once you have NFA epsilon, you can easily find out the DFA. Okay, so please try to understand, it is a transitive kind of relationship. Transitive kind of relationship in the sense, please try to understand, if I am having a regular expression with me, then what I can do is, so I can directly construct the NFA also. Not only NFA epsilon, I can construct the NFA also. How? If I am having a regular expression, I can find out a NFA with epsilon. Using that NFA epsilon, what I can do? I can find out the NFA. In the same manner, if I am having NFA epsilon, then I can find out the DFA also. Okay. So like this, what we can do is, we are going to completely dependent on these three topics. What is that? So regular expressions. Okay, now before going to discuss about this, start the discussion about these regular expressions, let's take one small example. Let us observe that I have a folder. In my folder, let us take that I have a folder, something like my data. That is my folder. Okay, this is my folder. So in this folder, see what is actually happening is, in this folder, please try to understand, in this folder there are plenty of files are available with me. So what are the files? Let me write one by one. Please wait for a second. In this folder I have plenty of files like this. Okay, so what are the files? Let me write the files. The names of files are, okay, first one a.txt is the first file, then second one is b.txt, third one is c.txt, then fourth one is 1.pdf, second one is 3.pdf. In the same manner, next one is so 6.pdf, then 8.doc. Now let us observe that this is my folder, where in my folder I am having some set of files like this. Okay, when I am having some set of files like this, now I got a requirement like I want to remove that only text files. Please try to understand. In this folder, what I want to do is, I want to remove, or I want to delete only the text files, and now, as it is a Windows kind of environment, now what you can do, you can select one file at a time. So select a.txt, select b.txt, select t.txt, and then right click and delete, or shift del. You can do like that. Now the main problem with this approach is, something like, so for example, as we have only three text files available, you can directly select and remove. Let us assume that if I am having some around 1000 files are available, 1000 txt files are available. Okay, now I want to remove all those 1000 txt files. So how do I remove? Now whatever the approach just now I told you, like select a.txt, b.txt, c.txt, d.txt, e.txt, like that. If you go for selecting the file and removing the file, then what is going to happen? Just for selecting the 1000 txt files itself is going to take a lot of amount of time. Yes or no? Please try to understand the scenario. Just for selecting the 1000 txt files itself is going to take lots of amounts of time. Okay, or otherwise what you can do, so search something like a.txt. If you find a.txt, remove, b.txt, remove, c.txt, remove. In the sense, in the second way, what is going to happen? So you need to find the file and then you need to remove the file. This is the second approach. So in this approach also, what is happening? So we are going to remove, it is going to take lots of amount of time. Okay, now instead of manually depending on So selecting the text files and then going for removal of all those text files. Now what I am going to do is, now I am going to assign this task, okay, and I am going to make use of the command. So here I am going to make use of the command. So using the command, now what I am going to do is, I am going to remove all my files available, text files available in my data folder. So what are the commands I have to use? First of all, I need to enter into that my data folder. So I am using the cd command. Now once I enter cd, now the situation might be like this: c users my data folder, and then here like this. This is how my command prompt will look like. Now what I want to do, I want to remove the text file. What is the text file? A.txt file. For example, if I want to remove the a.txt, then I am going to make use of the command called a.txt. Automatically what happens? So this a.txt file will get removed. So with this, what is happening here? I am not explicitly searching for the text file, just like what we do in a GUI. Okay. Now in the second file, if I want to remove the second file, please try to understand. So if I want to remove the second file, in the sense, sorry, if I want to, okay, so suppose if I want to remove the second file, okay, so suppose if I want to remove the second file, then I am going to use b.txt. Suppose for the third file, c.txt. Now as we have only 3 files, okay, making use of the command like rm command a.txt, b.txt and c.txt, that's fine. But think about a scenario where I am having some thousands of files available, thousands of text files are available. Now in such cases, it is not recommended to make use of rm command to be used for 1,000 number of times. Now what I want to do is, so I want to use rm command. Please try to understand. I want to use rm command only once, and I want to remove all the txt files. So how it is possible? How it is possible? Now let's go ahead. For this, please try to understand. First, let's check that a.txt, rm.b.txt, rm.c.txt. Okay. Now, please, everybody, please have a look at this. Have a look at these 3 commands. Please, everybody, please concentrate on these 3 commands. Now, please come to some conclusion. Can you tell me what are you able to identify anything which is there in these 3 commands? rm.txt, rm command followed by these 3 commands. Have used this rm command for 3 times. Are you able to come for any conclusion from this? Can someone please? Hello? Hello? Can someone tell me, like, so what is the conclusion that we can get from this?
.txt is common, sir.
.txt is common in the sense. So now please try to understand. Please hold on the line. Please don't mute yourself. Okay. Now please try to understand that. So we have few things common. What are the things common over here? Let me do that one also. So this part is also common. Yes or no? Is the rm command is common or not?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Then the next one which you said is absolutely correct. What is that? This .txt is also common. Okay. Now, what about this A, B, and C? Can someone tell me what is this A, B, and C are? What is these 3 things are? A, B, C
File
are?
name.
File names. Very good. So these 3 are file names, right? So these 3 are nothing but, sorry, these 3 are nothing but file names. Okay. In future, I may have any type of file name, not only ABC. I can get XYZ, or I can get A_BC, whatever the file name. But please try to understand that I am not worried about whatever the file name which I have for my file. But what I actually want is, I want that all my txt files needs to be removed. Now, do you find any pattern, common thing, common pattern are you able to identify over here, right? So what is that common pattern we are able to find here is, so here the pattern which is common for us is, so the command name rm is the same. The command name rm is same. Then as we don't know what is about the file name, so I am going to put a dot, I mean hyphen over there. Then .txt is also common. .txt is also common. Now what I want to do is I want to remove all the text files which comes with the either file name A or B or C or ABC or XYZ or UVW, whatever the file name which I get, I want to remove. Now in order to specify any name, now I am going to make use of a wildcard character called star. I am going to make use of a wildcard character called star. Now when I use this rm star.txt, now what this command will do, so it is going to remove all txt files without depending on file name. Okay, please try to understand. So this is how, with a simple rm command, and I have used this rm command for only once, and now I am able to remove it. Okay, how I am able to remove it? Because I am able to find the sum pattern. Okay, now let's go ahead and we'll take one more exercise. Now let us observe that I have few files like this. What are the files? A.txt, okay, and then a.doc, and then a.pdf, and then a.ppt, and then a. something like xls. Now what I want to do is I want to remove all those files. Please try to understand. I want to remove all those files whose name is the A. Please try to understand the question. My question is, I want to remove all those files whose name is A. And I am not worried about what type of file it is, whether it is a text file or document file or PDF file or PPT file or Excel file or whatever the file it may be. If that file is having the file name as A, then automatically what I want to do is I want to remove that file. Now can someone tell me how could I remove that? Can someone tell me like what is the pattern you are able to identify over here? Yes, so here we need to use the command rm command. Okay, rm command. And what is the common pattern we are having over here? What is the common thing we have over here? The thing which is common for is, very good, Nana. Someone is saying yes, A is common. So that is the reason what I do is, so rm followed by, here I am going to use name of the file like A, and then dot. A dot is common. Then what about this txt, doc, pdf, ppt and xls? So how do you represent this? So in order to represent that, I am going to make use of the wildcard character called star. Now what this rm a star will do? Now it will remove all the files whose name is A, and without depending on the type of the file. Now let us assume that I want to remove all files. So I don't want to depend on any name. I don't want to depend on name and type. Can someone tell me what is the command to remove all files without depending on the name and type?
rm star dot star.
Rm, very good. Star dot star. See here, now I have used star. I am not worried about the file name, and here I am not worried about the type of the file. Now what this star and all these things represents is, so this is the wildcard character. Okay, now So why we are using this wildcard character star in the sense, please try to understand. See here why we have used this star here, why we used star here. So as it is not possible for us to individually represent TXT file, DOC file, PDF file, PPT file and XLS file. So now in such cases what we can do, we can represent it within the form of a star. In the same manner here also we are going to make use of a star. Okay, now see, please try to understand. Like this we are going to have few concepts related to this. So what is that is, for example, let us observe that. So in our TOC we actually have a concept called a regular expression. In our TOC we actually have a concept called a regular expression. So what is this regular expression is? Please try to understand what is this regular expression is. Now please try to understand. Let us observe that I have a language. Now in my language, now what I am having is, I am having some set of strings like this. What are the strings I have are, please try to understand. I have a language. In my language I am having some set of strings like this. What are the strings we have are, first one, for example, let's take 1, comma, then 1 0, comma, 1 1, comma, then 1 0 0, comma, 1 0 1, comma, 1 1 0, comma, 1 1 1. Next, so next 1 0 0, 1 0 0 1, 1 0 1 0, then 1 1 1 0, and so on and so on. This is my language, and in my language, so these are going to be my strings. Okay, so all these are nothing but these are going to be my strings. Okay, now please go through this language. Please, everybody, please go through this language and identify. Are you able to identify any pattern available within the strings? When you look into the strings, are you able to find any pattern which is common for all the strings over here? Please, can anyone? Hello?
Starts with 1.
It starts with
1.
1. Very good. See, the thing which is common for all the strings is, it is starting with 1. Very good. It is starting with 1. After that one, I don't know, but whatever it comes, whether it can be 0 or it can be 1, whether it can be 0 or 1, or it can be the combinations of zeros and ones. Right? Now, what can I write? What is this language is? Can I write like this? So this is going to be the language. So which accepts the set of all strings. Set of all strings begins with 1. Can I write like this? Over alphabet 0, comma 1. Can I write like this? Can I say like this? So what is this language says? This language saying that, so it is the language which consists of all those strings where each string begins with 1, and once it begins with 1, I don't know whatever it comes after that one. Okay, now so this is what this language is actually talking about. Now what I want to do is, now instead of representing, please pay attention over here, please try to concentrate over here. Instead of representing this language in the form of so many number of strings, as this language is a what type of language? This is the infinite language. It is a infinite language. Okay, so as it is not possible for us to represent each and every string which belongs to this language, now using the pattern which has been given by the language, now what actually we try to do is, what actually we try to do is we try to represent the language, in the form of regular expression. We are going to represent the language in the form of regular expression. Okay, so what is the pattern it is saying? It is saying that my language should start with 1. Please try to understand. My language should start with 1. After that one, I don't know whatever it can, like, so it can be either 0 or 1. It can be combinations of 0 and 1. So that's the reason why I am going to represent this entire language with the help of a regular expression called 1 into 0 plus 1 whole star. Okay, so this is going to be the regular expression. This is going to be the regular expression for this language. Okay, or how it is the regular expression for this language, you know about it very well. So this is 1, and you know that already we know about it. So what is this? 0 plus 1 whole star is, we already discussed. Yes or no? 0 plus 1 whole star is nothing but what? So initially, what is the symbol we will get? We will get the first one, epsilon, because I already told you, star in the sense 0 or more, plus in the sense 1 or more. So epsilon, so 0 and then 1, strings of length. See, what is this star is? I already told you, sigma star is nothing but sigma power 0 union sigma power 1 union sigma power 2 union, like that. So strings of length 0. Strings of length 0 will be epsilon. Strings of length will be 1 will be 1. Strings of length 2, 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Strings of length 3, 0 0 0 0 0 1, then 0 1 0, then 1 1 0. These are the strings of length 3. Like that, we need to write strings of length 4. Then when we do the concatenation with it, like 1 into, when we do the concatenation, automatically what is the answer we will get? Now we will get 1 comma 1 0 comma 1 1 comma. So whatever the language we are looking for, that language we are able to generate. Okay, now from this what I want to tell you is, so please try to understand what is the meaning of this regular expression is. So far we have been seeing that, so we are going to represent language in the form of sets, like this. Okay, so now instead of representing the language, so which is accepted by some DFA or NFA or NFA epsilon, so instead of representing it in the form of a set kind of thing, now we are going to represent the same language in the form of an expression. So that expression itself, we call it like a regular expression. Okay, now please try to understand. So these regular expressions are very helpful. Okay, practically these expressions are very helpful. Let me tell you 2 uses of this regular expression. So the first one is, in your Unix operating system, whenever we want to do the pattern matching, so in such cases we are going to make use of a command called grep or egrep or fgrep. So have you come across this command? Yes, please, can someone respond? Have you come across this command, grep command? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you come across this command, pattern matching
Yes.
command, grep command?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, so there I hope you people might have used the concept of regular expressions, I think. Okay, now this is the one area where you can go for making use of this regular expressions, most popularly used. And the second one is, so in the compiler, in the designing of the compiler, there is a phase called lexical analysis phase. Lexical analysis phase. In the designing of this lexical analysis phase also, we are going to make use of this regular expressions. We are going to make use of these regular expressions. Okay, so these are the two very important advantages, so where we can make use of these regular expressions. Okay, so that is the reason why now what we try to do is we try to represent our language instead in the form of a set. Now we call it like a regular expression. Okay, now here please try to understand. So any queries you have regarding regular expressions? Are you able to understand like what is the need for representing a language in the form of a regular expression? So if you are able to understand that, then we are going to discuss about the identities of regular expression in tomorrow's class. Or we will write some regular expressions for some languages, and after that we will be discussing about the identities of regular expressions, and after that we'll solve some expressions, then we'll move for doing the conversions. Okay, so any doubts, any queries? Okay, anyways, you are not going to respond, I know about it. Okay, so if that is the case, then I'm going to wind up my session. So thank you very much for joining the session.